Yo, and welcome to WWLeeTV. Once again, here for another podcast with...
Hello, this is the Black White Soul.
We are back for a special Wrestlemania podcast.
And badder than ever.
And better than ever. How you doing?
I am good. I'm slowly getting my sleep pattern back after a 7-hour WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mentioned it in the last podcast we done with myself and Ricky. Went to watch WrestleMania. No, not over in Texas, just down in Brighton. But it was a really cool night. We had like this projector, like TVs everywhere. It was like this bar kind of place. They done food. But we got there and we were there for a good 6-7 hours.
And one douchey Roman Reigns fan.
And a very douchey Roman Reigns fan dissing Daniel Bryan. Ooh. Bad. It's too soon. It's too soon, damn it. But it was a really good night and we literally left at daylight, so sleep pattern was a bit off.
Oh yeah.
For a couple of days. So you slept all day Monday, didn't you?
Yeah, I literally slept till 6 p.m. and then, because I switched on to night shifts, started doing some night shifts, so that just kept the messed up sleep pattern all right.
So we watched it on Sky Sports. They didn't show the pre-show, but my friends on Sky. But my friends had their phones up. I had a bit of a grainy signal on my phone, so I couldn't really watch the pre-show, but the guys did. So
yeah, a little bit of the pre-show. I was planning to go back and watch it again, but I never got around to. So you had Callisto and Ryback actually have a decent match, and thank God Callisto retained for all the good it did for them on the following Raw. But no, it was a really good match, and the small guy won, which was a shock. I thought it was going to be like a Ryback title thing, but no. Then after that, I believe that was actually the Divas match. The last ever Divas match.
And Lana was involved, right?
Yes, this was Lana, Summer, Team Bad, and some other heel. Emma! Of course, Emma.
And
that was it. That was the bad team. And then the good team, Paige, Natalia, Brie, Fox.
Do you want to say her name?
Why was she on the face team?
I don't know.
Oh, and the Roman Reigns of the women's division, even
She
Marie.
really is.
That part of the reason I want to go and watch it again was just to see the reaction she got.
She is the biggest heel in the company.
Oh. And I thought it was setting up for some sort of like heel turn. Well, I'll say heel turn. I thought she was going to do like some sort of heel thing and betray them. But no, it was just that team versus that team. And then, as it should, Brie Bella got the LaBelle lock / yes lock. Or as it's been suggested, should have been called the LaBella lock.
LaBella lock.
Yeah.
I like that.
But it's a bit too late to rename that because that was actually Brie Bella's last ever match. And she is now retired.
She's done. Off to make some Daniel Bryan babies.
Yes.
Go, yes.
Which is what he makes her say.
Oh, he's gonna have some fun there.
Oh yeah.
Good retirement.
Yeah. So it was what it was. It was just 10 people in a match, a bit of a cluster thing, but it was fine. I just don't understand Eva Marie's
They plonked
existence.
her in there because it's a total divas.
Because they're all total divas, though Fox isn't total divas, is she?
No, she was.
Well, she is kind of. She had the Barrett thing, and she's like
a supporting
Paige's
cast.
friend. Yeah. But that was the thing, and then we had Lita in the ring, unveiling the new WWE Women's title.
How beautiful is that thing?
I
love it.
I'm happy. Like, some people are a bit down that it's just like the male one, but I think it actually makes it mean more that it's...
Oh, I think it definitely does.
It looks like the male one, but it's just got its own colour pattern. And it's a women's title. That was probably like the biggest thing from the pre-show. And Usos fought the Dudleys and put the Dudleys through tables.
Couldn't care less.
In
all honesty.
I was sold out at that point.
Yeah.
Right, that was the pre-show.
So WrestleMania 32.
Yes.
Dallas, Texas. It opens with the usual national anthem, America, we love
Who sung the national anthem?
Fifth Harmony. They were on Radio 1 today.
Remember? Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were on Radio 1, and they were really good. Like, live on Radio 1, and they were talking about Wrestlemania.
Oh.
They had an awesome time, met the legends and stuff. Yeah, so shout out to Fifth Harmony, whoever you are.
Yeah. I only knew them because I started watching the Barbie series that's on Netflix.
Oh.
And they were in that. Right, the Barbie show that's on Netflix is actually really good.
This is what we're here to review.
Yeah, this is actually it. This is the big announcement. We're actually switching to be the Barbie podcast. It's a good show. They're self-referencing. But yeah, that's how I knew Fifth Harmony. That was a thing. We opened up. Let's get away from Barbie.
And the opening video for that WrestleMania was awesome. I can't remember the guy's name that opened it, but it was really cool. They sort of had these old shots from old school wrestlers, but they had these bits where they'd filmed in HD as well, and this amazing voiceover. Last year's was awesome with LL Cool J, but this year's maybe topped it for me.
Yeah.
Really got me in the mood. And then we open with what I thought should go on first to get everyone excited.
Like it did last year. Yeah. And like Money in the Bank has. It's a good opener.
It's the ladder match. And you know what? Going into this, obviously, like, Ziggler comes out, and I was thinking, no, I don't think he's got it in the bag. And then Ryder comes out. It's like, enjoy your entrance. Enjoy it. Just enjoy your entrance. I think the only person...
Well, actually, I think Ryder was my lowest one to win.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you had... Even though they'd introduced these three guys into this feud because they were awful, because the angle was... Kevin Owens, I'm going to have this triple threat with these awful people, Stardust, Sin Cara, and Zack Ryder. And then they got injected into the feud, which was fine. And then I thought, well, Cody, of course, he's got the connection.
Yep.
And then, of course, he brought out a polka dot ladder, which was a fantastic little spot.
And Kevin
I was like, there's a good chance that he could win. Sin Cara. Yep. His partner's got the US title. They could do a thing where he gets that, because they want to get that Mexican audience.
That's a good idea.
Then, of course, you got Ziggler, who's always a deserving champ.
Oh, absolutely.
The Miz, he's a really good company guy. The company can send him out doing stuff. He is really good talking in interviews and that.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah, and I think he's been doing a fantastic job with the Y2 AJ and that stuff. He was really good in like getting AJ over.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kevin Owens, deserving champion. I really did want him to retain. And then Sami Zayn, the new guy, a title win could really do him.
Yeah.
So all those guys I could see winning, apart from the Zack Ryder, that pathetic little jobber guy.
I'm so glad he gets an entrance.
I know, that was... no, he was on WrestleMania. He wasn't just in the Battle Royale.
Yeah, he's like, wow, he gets an entrance. This is huge for me. Because I like Zack Ryder. I'm a fan. So this match for me topped last year's opening ladder match. Had some really cool spots. Sin Cara, he usually botches the hell out of things.
Everything was smooth. That somersault where he fell off the ladder, jumped on the top rope, and somersaulted onto everyone outside.
Flawless. And
then also the one where he finally put Cody through a ladder. And then just Kevin Owens, the story of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn through the match. Them just like they can't unfocus from each other. That they've got to just
really, yeah. And I think. Throughout the match, I think, to be honest, Sami Zayn was my number one pick for winning. So I was keeping an eye on him and Kevin Owens because I love those two. And Kevin Owens took a couple of brutal spots. And the last one he took, pretty much, he didn't move after. I was like, can someone please just poke him? Because he doesn't look alive.
The reverse exploder onto the ladder head first.
Jeez. Oh, brutal.
And then we had Sami Zayn climbing that ladder.
I was like, this is it.
And the Miz pushes him off. There's the Miz, sits on top of that ladder, got a hand on the title, and everyone in the pub is booing.
Oh, yeah. The atmosphere in there was just like, we hate the Miz. And he was so like nonchalant at the top, he just sat down.
I couldn't see anyone around.
No, he looked around as well. And then all of a sudden, Zack Ryder comes running up, under the bottom rope, up the ladder, pushes the Miz off. I was like, holy shit.
This can't be real.
This can't be real.
Somebody's going to interrupt.
Yeah. And he gets the belt and pulls it off. And I was like, no, something is not right here.
Oh, radio. Oh, the pub exploded. Literally, not literally. but with fanfare for Ryder, woo woo woos.
Woo woo woos.
Ah,
I got goosebumps thinking about it now.
And then he got his dad came in and celebrated.
Who I actually originally thought was some guy jumping the ring.
Yeah.
But then they started hugging.
He was quite jacked. He's a big dude.
He's jacked. Awesome moment. What a way to open WrestleMania with a complete swerve. Enjoying it in that moment. 24 hours later, we'll get to that at some point. But Zack Ryder, I was so pleased for him. He deserved that moment. And
despite the build for the match basically painting three of these guys as awful, I think the match itself just raised everyone's stock. Everyone in the match looked good.
Damn good. And a great way to open Mania. The crowd were just buzzing by that point, and so was the pub. So, great first match. Next, we get to a feud that I've been quite enjoying. They started out enemies, and they become friends, and now they're enemies again. But Jericho and AJ.
Yep. This has been, since the Raw, after the Royal Rumble, this feud has carried on for over 3 months.
3 months. 3 awesome matches.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. What did you expect going into it? Did you sort of have a...
I thought, well, now we had Jericho solidified as a heel, I thought it was going to be... The dynamic was going to change.
Yeah.
And I thought, WrestleMania, these guys are going to kick it up a notch. And they did. They put on a to compete with all these other stipulation crazy matches, a singles match getting this much hype and being so good, that just shows how good these guys are.
Damn good. And the codebreaker he hit, that was when AJ jumped off the top rope, wasn't it?
No, he hit a codebreaker before then that AJ kicked out of. And then the final one was the phenomenal forearm, which it's a really cool move. I don't like it as his finisher because it is sort of a standard, and Jericho actually kicked out of a Styles Clash, which is a bit of a shock. Though I was surprised to see that he then, talking about the future, he actually used the Styles Clash again on Raw. So I really don't know if it is just certain guys he's allowed to do the Styles Clash with.
Maybe they're umming and ahhing about it, or he's not allowed to use it that often. Odd.
Because I think he's literally only hit it on Jericho and Curtis Axel once, and apart from that, he's not been allowed to use it.
No.
Which is funny because Cesaro's finisher is basically a modified Styles Clash. He just doesn't hook the arms under the legs.
But I honestly expected AJ to have this one in the bag.
Yes, same
I thought
here.
It's his first Mania. Great way to close the feud. And Jericho hits a finisher, and he takes time actually pinning him.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, he's going to kick out. He's left it too long. But
no, the pin.
The pin.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I thought they really would have given AJ that win. I can understand it to a certain extent that these are two really good guys, and Jericho does deserve a thing because he does come back and you're like, oh, he's just here to lose to someone else. So giving him a win every now and then out of surprise, especially when the matches I ask a full conclusion, AJ's just going to win this. They do like to switch that up every now and then.
Yeah.
I do feel it would have been better if AJ had won, considering what happens on Raw, but...
Well,
it was still a really good match, and it did make for a bigger surprise.
Oh, it did. I honestly thought because Jericho won, then maybe that might be his last match, and he's off to travel doing Fozzy stuff again. But obviously, he was on Raw, so.
And the fact that they're evened up means you can always come back to this feud for later in the year, where they have well, we've got to finish this off. We've got to decide who is the best.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's good. But yeah, another good match. So that's 2 good solid matches going into WrestleMania.
Yep.
And then we get another match, and
shockingly, in 5 hours of wrestling, we get another match.
Another match.
Who knew?
No real break. Straight into the next one, and I'm not going to lie. Going into this one, I considered it my toilet break match. I was like, maybe I'll grab some food, have a chat to the bar lady, just. But we open with the most hilarious entrance I've seen in a long
giant
time.
box of Bootios.
There's a Bootio sign on the box, on the stage, and New Day's music's playing, and the box falls over, and cereal falls out everywhere. And I was in hysterics. This was genius.
And then
New Day,
they come out of the box.
And the next moment got a huge pop, because there must have been a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans.
Yeah, there's lots of nerdy people that like wrestling.
I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was young, so I sort of recognised it. I'm so glad JBL pointed out who
Xavier Wood must have told him beforehand.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I would give their entrance over 9,000.
So I was gonna go to the loo, and I was like, no, they're starting to win me over. They cut this promo on top of the stage.
This time he had like a different coloured, like a red sort of trombone.
Yeah, like a Wrestlemania special trombone. And they head down to the ring, and then League of Nations come out.
Oh, which is...
And I just can't stand them. The only guy I like in that team is Rusev.
Who started just like kicking the cereal into the crowd.
He's like, good away.
Shock! I thought it was going to be a handicap, but it turned out they just did 3-on-3.
Yeah.
So Barrett, as always, was renegated to being standing on the sidelines.
Yeah. Shame, really.
And again, this was a really good match. Really good team spots. The New Day just so over with everything they're doing. And as awful as Lon are, they play the heels well.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Big E literally kills himself, because we don't see him again for a while, when he does a double spear through the ropes and just lands head first on the outside.
Jesus, he needs to be careful.
I know.
The biggest reason I considered this as a toilet break match is because they didn't put the belt on the line, which really it annoyed me. You know, I was like, it's WrestleMania. They've had those belts now for 250 days or something. Yeah. I thought, now's the time. Not that I'd want New Day to lose those belts, because I can't stand League of Nations, but non-title.
Yeah, it is weird having a non-title match.
And no real explanation as to why they were having a match.
I know, it did make sense. Like, if the announcers had, brought up, well, Lon have been unable to get a victory over the New Day. Like, every match they've had, the New Day have won. So there's no reason for them to put the titles on. And then, really go, if Lon win this, they will get a title opportunity.
Yeah. But Sheamus gets the pin over, I believe Xavier. So going into this, what I was considering as probably be my least favourite moment of the night turned out to be...
Boo! The atmosphere is horrid. Sheamus is in the ring. All of them are on the microphones going, we're the best. Lads!
I was like, oh God, end it now. On what went from being... It goes on to be my favourite moment of the whole night.
Sexy.
Shawn Michaels' music hits. And I look round at the group and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
And there he is on the stage doing the posing in his ring gear.
He takes his t-shirt off and he's in his ring gear and he looks really good. And I'm like, is he legit about to wrestle? And before I've even had time to think, Mick Foley's music hit. Cactus Jack. He comes out and he's looking great.
He's lost 50 pounds thanks to DDP Yoga.
And he's going to continue going. So well done, Mick. He looked awesome.
He did.
So he's on the stage. I'm like,
and they're milking it. It's just these two. They're looking around. They're going, free?
Yeah, free. Free? And everyone's going, who is it? Who is it? Maybe Rock, maybe Austin. And then... and I literally done a backflip. I was wearing Austin that night t-shirt.
His skin on your...
Yeah, I was electric. I was head over heels happy.
Not quite looking as good a shape as the other two.
No, I thought, is he going to be in his attire?
Then you sort of see a side view, it's like, no, he's going to stick in those...
Stay in the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get these three legends standing at the top of the ramp, and they soak it in, they stand there, and they nod, and they walk down to the ring, and they have this big stare down with League of Nations, and they get into it. You've got Foley in the corner with Sheamus. You've got Sheamus, Shawn Michaels in the corner with Del Rio. They've thrown Barrett out by this point. And you've got Stone Cold and Rusev. And amazing.
Yep.
Huge brawl.
And of course you get a sweet chin, get a mandible claw,
yep.
And of course Rusev sells the hell out of a Stone Cold Stunner.
Do you know, the Stunner is my favourite wrestling move ever.
It's not Austin's favourite move because of his...
Yeah. I didn't think we'd ever see him do it again, but it bugs the hell out of me when they can't take a good Stunner, because the Stunner is probably one of the easiest moves to take. But Rusev sold the shit out of that move.
And then the New Day throw Barrett in the ring, and he gets a mandible claw, a sweet chin, and a stunner.
That's 2 stunners already. 2 sweet chin musics and 2 mandible claws.
And then the New Day start celebrating.
The place is going wild. And
of course, old fun time Mick Foley, he's there dancing away with Big E. And then you got Kofi and Shawn Michaels. And Kofi manages to coax Shawn Michaels into that twerking.
I never thought in 2016 we'd see Shawn Michaels twerk in WrestleMania in his ring gear. But that happened. And then Xavier goes up to Stone Cold and he's like, come on, yeah, click, click, click. And Stone Cold starts doing it.
Yeah.
Huge pop. But then Xavier spins round and then clack, bang, stunner on Xavier.
And then it's bigger pop.
And I just I laughed when the reaction of Kofi and Big E when they saw it. It's like, how could you? And they throw them all out the ring.
And then Beers and Austin, everyone gets soaked.
Oh, it was just a great moment, and I'll never forget it. It was my favourite moment of the night, and maybe in many years. Oh, it was awesome.
Playing devil's advocate. If that was the first time you'd watch WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because this is WrestleMania. It had lots of... the biggest one ever, bringing in probably loads of new people.
Yeah.
Who are the stars in that segment?
Well, exactly. If this is my first Mania, I'm like, well, obviously the stars are the people that everyone's kicking off about.
Yeah.
This is Stone Cold and such. But yeah, I do see your point.
Your champions lost. And then your champions, they had a little moment with the stars, but then they got stunned and cleared out. I wish they had sort of picked up Xavier and then sort of carried on and maybe been given a beer or... even after he got stunned, if Austin had just handed a beer to Xavier.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like a passing of the torch. And they're kind of basically telling us that the legends are always going to be the bigger deal.
Yeah. The guys that we're not going to see for another year.
Yeah, don't take these guys too seriously. The legends are the attraction at WrestleManias. That's basically what they're doing. However much I loved it, it does suck for them.
Yeah.
It does suck for them.
It does. But it was a fun moment. I can't say I disliked it. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah. And the place went pretty much wild.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we went to that place.
Mm-hmm.
But so, coming off that, I think the crowd were pretty much like, oh my god. And then we get the Brock Lesnar-Dean Ambrose match come up next.
Yeah. This was probably one of the matches I felt had some of the best build, and I was looking the most forward to.
Yeah, this was the match I was looking forward to the most. But, Lesnar comes out.
Yep.
Comes out, and then Ambrose comes out, and I'm like, please have the red
wheelbarrow. That wagon he filled up and didn't bring it.
He didn't bring it.
He must have left it in that town.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what a waste of a moment. He could have come out on that long ramp with a wheelbarrow and all of his gear. And what I hear, going into this match, he asked WWE if he could do something more brutal, and they turned it down.
Yeah.
He wanted to do spots for the segments that he had filmed a week prior. With the 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire and the chainsaw, but they said no. So this was I enjoyed it.
This was a fine
match. It just wasn't quite...
The story of the match was Lesnar doesn't need weapons, so every time Ambrose would bring one in, he'd break it and then throw it away and then just suplex City.
Yeah.
That was our story.
It wasn't as long as I thought it would be.
No. And then the finish did come out of nowhere. We got a brief appearance of the chainsaw, then he got hit, and then the chainsaw disappeared.
And Dean Ambrose kissed the barbed wire.
Yep.
Enjoy that, Renee.
And then brought that into the ring, and then he got hit, and that disappeared.
Yeah.
Then suplex on the mountain of chairs, and an F5, and he's done.
Mm-hmm. It was okay. It just wasn't what I'd hoped it would be.
Nope. And how weak does it make Ambrose look?
Well,
when did
really
he
weak.
ever get the advantage over Lesnar in that whole feud.
He didn't. And I really was hoping
there was actually
that...
2 times. And those were just when he hit him in the penis.
Oh, yeah.
So that means Ambrose can only win if he hits people in the dick.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he can do. Apart from that, he's useless. No matter what weapons he uses, he is shit.
Yeah. It just seems as if... What I was hoping was, yeah, fair enough. If Ambrose loses, as long as they make Ambrose look as strong and crazy as possible, it puts him in a whole new league.
Like, this is the guy, when he had that ladder match with Seth Rollins. Rollins giving him the powerbomb into the barriers, giving him the powerbomb onto the chairs on the ladder, doing all this. And the thing was, Ambrose would not die. He kept getting back up.
Showing heart. Exactly.
I think this shows... This is the reason I'm not a fan of Brock Lesnar. His matches are cool, but if he's in there with a guy he doesn't care about or like, he won't do any favours.
He wasn't protecting him. He was doing German suplexes that I couldn't look. I couldn't look. I'm a huge Ambrose fan, and Lesnar isn't.
No.
He was not protecting him. And this was a, no holds barred match with weapons in the ring, and... It was just brutal and hard to watch, but they didn't make Ambrose look strong.
And he didn't kick out of an F5. I know it was a big move and on chairs, but what? Reigns kicked out of 4 last year. And so it's the unwritten rule. You can kick out of 1 finisher. And then after that, it's okay.
Exactly. But this is the 3rd time in this WrestleMania so far in the evening where we've had the legend or the old timer, the veteran, go over on the up and comer, and it's why?
Because even the Jericho going over, even though he kind of deserves it, he's only probably going to be around for another month or so.
Yeah, he doesn't he's not he needs it.
Lesnar, we're not going to see for a couple of months now.
SummerSlam.
Yeah,
he's done till SummerSlam from what I hear.
And there is only certain people I actually want to see him go against. I want him to go against Samoa Joe, Cesaro. Guys that he might not respect, but at least physically they can stand up to him. As much as I love Dean Ambrose, he's just Lesnar is just a freak, and he is just this muscle thing, and Ambrose can't do that much against him. And also, there's a certain thing of how much is he allowed to do against Lesnar without him then sort of going into business for himself.
Well, exactly. So yeah, I felt a little bit after that.
Yeah,
it was a bit disheartening, but the following match made me feel much better because obviously earlier in the evening we had the Women's Championship unveiled, and now it's time for the women's title to go on the line in the most amazing women's match I've seen in years.
Well, not quite for me, but it was really good.
On the main roster.
There we go.
On the main roster, because the NXT ones are phenomenal. And
phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
The phenomenal AJ Styles.
I was just... I can't speak. It's been a long day.
Becky Lynch, super fun. And then Sasha Banks comes out with Snoop Dogg singing her down to the ring, her cousin.
And Charlotte comes out in the most amazing entrance. She's got literally parts of the gown that Ric Flair wore. He retired in against Shawn Michaels. Fireworks. I mean, they really took the Divas seriously in this match.
And then these girls just put on one hell of a show.
Crazy.
Again, a match like we've had a ladders match, a hardcore match, and these girls managed to really shine with just straight up wrestling.
Straight up. The moonsault from Charlotte. Oh my god, beautiful.
Especially because it's a move I've not really seen her do much.
It was just so... I mean, these girls were fighting. It was just intense. It was brutal.
And Ric Flair even taking a jump from Becky Lynch out of the ring onto him.
Yeah. I mean, what a rub for these girls. And, Becky Lynch's eye, just... Ouch. They really went for it, and I was so happy for them. I didn't really have a preference of a winner in this one. I don't know about you.
I was going for Charlotte. I think having a nice long reign. And of course you've got the attachment to Ric Flair, which gives you a main... Because, again, this show will bring in a lot of very casual fans. and them having a person that's got an attachment to Ric Flair, that's, okay.
Yeah.
And then just the fact she's held the title, and again, I think she needs a nice, long title reign. Even, I'd say, if she would break Nikki Bella's title reign, that would be good, mainly because Nikki doesn't deserve it. But
no, Nikki does not deserve that. I said to Ricky when we were watching Raw, I'd definitely be happy if Charlotte carried that through till WrestleMania 33. You know, give her a good 365-day run. The title will mean so much as well by then. You could have her do all sorts with it, and then Sasha Banks, Charlotte, WrestleMania 33. I'd love to see that.
Definitely.
Even Natty. I think if we could see the Bret Hart, Natty versus
with
Charlotte
Ric Flair in their corner, do that rematch that, because that was like 2 years ago on NXT. I think it's been long enough that we can just redo it and it'll be great. Though, well, Bret's not in the best.
He wasn't in
position
the
at the
best
moment
with WWE at the minute.
Yeah.
I'll go and check his Twitter out.
He's even got a podcast now, I hear, but I haven't.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh. We'll get him on, shall we?
Yeah. Hey, you want to come on?
It's in my bedroom.
Yep. he can perch on the bed over
there. No, we're in a tower in London.
In a studio.
We can see
flying above the clouds in our
Westminster
suits.
From here, But I love the hell out of that match. That was awesome. It picked me back up from the Lesnar-Ambrose match.
Yeah.
And Charlotte retains / wins. I don't know what you want to call it, but Lillian Garcia said she wins and she's the new champion.
And all these girls are going to be on your TV for the next years to come, and they all looked really good.
They did. Charlotte got a proper coronation that night. It was about damn time.
For the first time, we've got people that all... Well, actually, no, in the ladder match, they all look really good. So 2 of the matches out of the 4 so far, those people that are going to be on our TV actually come off strong.
They do. 3 girls coming up, looking strong. Bravo. And tip of the hat to WWE for finally
making it a woman's title.
A woman's title, and giving us a women's title match at Mania. It's awesome. Next, we go into the video package for Shane Taker, and I love this package. For a feud that was pretty much just... I don't know what they done with this or how they come up with it, but it was almost like a desperation thing where Vince was like, son, I need a big favour. We haven't got Cena, he's injured, my original plan's gone to shit. And however crazy this match idea was, I personally loved the craziness of it. I mean, Shane versus Taker in a feud, why the hell not? But the video package was awesome.
I was a bit more down with it from the beginning. I thought it should have been Shane getting a representative, and then Undertaker ended up being Vince's one, Shane trying to find someone else, because then you have a star that is attached to this, and it'll just help them out.
Yeah.
But the build-up has been fun. It's been a bit hit and miss for me. Like, I keep saying, no way should The Undertaker be just selling punches from Shane, especially punches that don't look that good. Like, he should have been pulling out a brass knuckle, so really laying it in, and then there's got a reason for The Undertaker to be properly hurt from these. Have, like, a kendo stick hidden in his trousers or something.
Yeah.
Or those, like, mini half sticks that you...
Yeah. That would have looked better, because his punches didn't.
No.
They had the odd one that looked alright, but I do definitely see a point. I mean, what the hell am I going to be able to do to Taker?
Yeah, he's the Undertaker. He's just had like 2 matches last year with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And now a 45-year-old businessman gets to go fist to fist with him. Yeah.
I know.
We just had that guy shrugging off weapon hits from Dean Ambrose, but no, a businessman that's not been in a wrestling ring for 7 years can go fist to fist with The Undertaker.
Yeah, when you think about it on the deeper level, it does seem utterly ridiculous.
Not that deep of a level if you just look at it.
Yeah, but if you take it for what it is, I enjoyed it. It was a WrestleMania feel, kind of, I enjoyed it, but it's a Hell in a Cell match. Shane comes out with his sons. It's like, hey, come with me. I'm going to put my life on the line now.
A really nice moment. And then again, when you think about it, here, mother, here's my 3 young children that are going to watch me die.
Yeah, Linda McMahon was at ringside. His wife was at ringside. All three of his sons watching him in the most brutal match ever. But the match itself was okay.
It was okay. It had enough like spots to it. I again really hated the fact that Shane kicked out of like the last ride.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
He kicked out of a chokeslam on steel steps, which again just makes me even more bitter towards Dean Ambrose not kicking out of an F5. When if Shane McMahon can kick out of a last ride and a chokeslam on steel steps, like
I thought he had him there. I thought that's it, it's done. But he kicked out of 2 huge spots.
But there was some good stuff in the cell. Mostly it should have just been Shane like avoiding Taker and getting in those weapon shots. Again, he really was just so determined to show how much he can punch and kick.
I know. The point where Shane looks up at the roof is when everyone knew what was coming and it got a big reaction.
I almost thought he was going to climb up the inside of the cell.
And do like a...
And then, do like a sort of elbow drop from...
the most awkward, like...
Well, I was thinking more he would have pulled a table out from under the ring, set Taker up on that, and then, like, climbed
up. Yeah.
But no, he managed to pull bolt cutters out.
Bolt cutters, because they're under the ring. And...
Well, it was... everything else is...
everything, yeah. I didn't think it would happen, but they escaped the cell.
They did. And scared the absolute crap out of the German announce team because the thing fell right on their table.
Yeah. And then they sort of fight around on the announcers' tables and they do this cool spot where Shane's got Taker in a choke.
And they both fall through one of the other many different announce tables they had.
There's like 4 there that night. So they go through that. Shane clobbers Taker with the... he's got a toolbox. And... then everyone knows what's coming because Shane starts looking up at the top of the cell. He climbs to the top. He looks exhausted.
Yep.
And I was like, are we really going to see this in 2016? Are we really going to see someone go higher than Mick Foley went and do something as crazy? And I didn't think it would happen. I was expecting something to happen there where perhaps Vince come out.
Don't do it, Shane. Don't do it. You win.
And he did it. He just dropped an elbow off the top of the cell.
And Taker said, fuck this, I'm out of here.
I'm out. And went plummeting through the tables. And it's just the craziest spot we've seen in years.
I have to say, one of the best thing in this match was just the Undertaker. And just his selling, his facial reactions. Not just like selling moves, but selling the situation. Like how much he didn't actually really want to be fighting Shane, but it's for his legacy. And then like just him looking at Shane probably dead, which Undertaker's had too many experiences of almost having dead people.
I mean, honestly, him and that Hell in a Cell and his victims. So Taker like rolls out of the way. I watched it back a few times. Taker rolls out of the way, and you can see him like looking back and forth at the ref and Shane. Like, are you gonna check on him or what? Because he's upside down.
Yeah.
So they go over to him and they check on him, and obviously he's fine. But crazy spot, and that will literally live on forever in WrestleMania history.
Yeah, that's gonna be something that's played over and over and over again. The match gets back in the ring, and this is pretty much the end. Shane is there. He is defeated. Sitting on the steps, but he's still like, come on at me. Undertaker gives him a nice little pat on the side. Well done, kid. Tombstone, pin. Part of me was wondering if he was suddenly going to do the pull him on top of myself to thing, but...
yeah.
If this match I would have been more excited for if they hadn't have put the stupid Undertaker will never be at WrestleMania stipulation again.
I know.
But,
and at least give us a reason why he was there.
Yeah.
Not just chuck on that reason at the end that Undertaker might not be back ever again. It just seemed a bit silly. But a lot of people have been pointing out, because I've been, I was Twitter crazy on Monday past WrestleMania, and people were saying that Undertaker took off his gloves at the end and put them in the ring. And apparently he said that was his last match. But I guarantee you that Shane McMahon wouldn't be his last opponent at Mania. No way. I don't want it to be.
It's hard because, I'll be honest, Undertaker looked his age in that match.
He did.
He wasn't moving great. Even before like they'd got into really the hardcore stuff, he wasn't moving great.
He didn't look great. He shouldn't have a fake tan, for one thing. And he needs to get a looser hat, because he had this big old red mark around his head. But yeah. I think the build for that match just doesn't. It's not Taker's last match for me. No way.
I will say to you again, if you're a casual fan watching that, what reason do you have to watch Raw after that?
Well, exactly it. It's just this part...
You didn't get this all changes happening thing.
No, you didn't. You didn't. It's just the part-timer got a win, and he's going to be back. Shane's not won, so therefore he's not in charge. It's like, what reason do I have to be excited about Raw?
Just back to status quo.
But we'll get to Raw, because I think it's stupid. It's just stupid how all this played out. But I think a lot of people were exhausted after that, because it was a bit crazy. So... naturally, we put on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and after a bit of a...
which had one of the most shocking, people in that ring. Tatanka! For God's sake, Tatanka was in the ring, and I am so annoyed that more people were not going crazy for Tatanka. God damn it. You don't even know who Tatanka is, do you?
No.
The worst person ever.
Is it a Pokemon? I don't know who Tatanka is. Ricky...
in the first ever King of the Ring match where Bret Hart got crowned, Tatanka fought not Lex Luthor, that's a very different
What the hell? Are you sure he's real?
The narcissist Lex Luger to a time limit draw, and Tatanka had massive feuds with Bam Bam Bigelow back in the day, and he had the Indian thing.
Ricky's a back in the day wrestling fan. I'm from sort of 99 onwards.
Yeah.
So I didn't know who Tonka was, but Ricky was.
So I was marking out because he was just standing in the ring, and then Baron Corbin, old baldy bantering Baron Corbin, was standing in the ring, which I was like, okay, he's just been chucked in there for bodies. Then we get DDP actually come out and get an entrance.
I love DDP.
That was a huge pop. Big Show got an entrance. Kane got an entrance.
And Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
With his giant feet.
With his giant everything.
Giant everything. I mean, look at his feet. They're scary.
He looks like Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
So yeah, he's in there for some weird reason. I guess it's a bigger deal to Americans.
Yeah, he's a big... that would be like Beckham coming into the ring.
Yeah, big deal for us. So it's a big deal for them.
And it is a dude that the Big Show has to look up at. So
yeah, he literally has to look up.
It looks impressive.
It did. But, to be honest, I went to the loo at this point and I was like, okay, who's in the ring? Who's in the ring? Who do I reckon's got this? And I didn't spot Baron Corbin until towards the end. Yeah. But I didn't expect him to win.
No.
No way.
I was so happy when Shaquille O'Neal and Big Show eliminated each other from the beginning, because it did look like they just built up Big Show and Kane to win this thing.
How pissed would you have been if Shaquille O'Neal would have won the Andre?
It would have just been the death of it, and it was pointless. Yeah. They've basically made it pointless. The first ever one they did was fantastic. Cesaro got a push and then stopped.
Because he's not very
good. Last year Big Show won it and then nothing. Yeah, and yes, then Baron Corbin. So... you had a big mainstream celebrity in this match. You had some legend guys in this match. And for the casual fans, this new guy wins. Ooh, who is this guy? He might mean something.
Yeah, he's important.
And he'll be a guy that will be on the next... This is how you should be booking.
Exactly.
I'm not saying just all the new people should always win, but... they need to have moments, and let's say if you just move things around for the New Day, like maybe the Legends just come out for the save after they won, and then the League just beat them down, then you have the Legends just come out. It would have been a bit harder, because you wanted to get all the entrance themes playing, but then you would have gotten the rub on the new guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed to do, but they done it in this match. They've got plans for Corbin, I guess. Yeah. We hope.
And I'm like two minds, because I never rated Corbin that much. He's a good hand, but it does also mean that he's now no longer on NXT, so my NXT is going to be better. So
yeah, come to the main roster, because that's where your career ends.
Just ask Tyler Breeze.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, the Andre the Giant more about Royal. Baron Corbin wins, so a bit of a twist there, I guess. it's hard to take them seriously these days because they don't do anything after.
Yeah, but this is the first time it's been a new guy, so hopefully... And it's a guy that's got a Vince McMahon look to him and height. He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. So next up, WWE gives us a bit of a breather from the wrestling, and we get these cheerleaders out looking pretty hot.
Were the Hall of Fame inductees at some point, or was that before?
That might have been
must have been before.
But
no, it's always good seeing sort of the inductees.
The inductees come out, you'd like
and of course, sad news, Sting is like officially retired.
He is retired. It does suck a bit. I was kind of hoping for Sting Taker. But he's done.
We're not getting that. Doesn't mean we can't get Shawn Michaels is retired,
yeah.
Mick Foley's retired, Austin's retired.
But you had the Freebird, you had Jacqueline, all on stage doing their thing. So congrats to those guys. But yes, we get these cheerleaders out, looking hot, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then the Rock's music hits.
Yes.
Obviously, you got mixed feelings on the Rock segment.
Yeah,
because I didn't expect you to see to go to the loo, and you did. You got up and went to the loo.
I saw him pull out a flamethrower and he set his name on fire.
That was weird.
Which I think in their head looks more impressive, but when you zoom a camera out of this massive stadium and you see this little bit of flame,
like a candle.
Yeah, it wasn't that impressive.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird opening.
And then Rock gets in the ring. I go to the toilet because it's The Rock. He's just doing Rock things, saying Rock things, doing the same promo we've had from him when he comes back for these one-off.
Yeah.
Like we had with him in the New Day and the Usos earlier this year. I had with him and Rusev last year.
So he's basically back saying, tonight is about breaking records. So he announces the fact that WrestleMania...
I could hear this in the toilet, by the way.
Oh, you could hear that?
That's quite useful.
That's good, that's handy. So he announces 101,000 people, which is crazy and awesome. And that sort of... I was like, wow, that's it. That was very brief. But he says things are about to get crazy, and then the Wyatt's music hits.
At this point, I finish off, wash my hands.
And then they get to the ring.
And then I come and sit back in my booth, and there they are. They've gone to the ring. I timed it well.
Yeah, and you get like this stare down thing, which I popped for.
Of course, Luke Harper isn't there because he's injured.
He's injured, so you get Bray Wyatt.
Who is actually injured as well.
Yeah.
But they kind of can keep him on.
Braun Strowman, so you get this stare down going on. And then The Rock whips off his... That
was a huge pop, I'll be honest.
That was awesome.
And the fact it wasn't just a little fight and it was like a match, in finger mark quotations.
So just think about this. At WrestleMania 32, Eric Rowan had a match against The Rock.
Yes.
Albeit 6 seconds,
but
I'll take it. Because I didn't think he'd do anything because of his insurance. But he literally has a match. The Rock has a match at Mania. I'd rather him go against Bray Wyatt, but not in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So yet again, this stare down happens.
You get surrounded by all the Wyatts.
And then John Cena's music hits. And the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, it's John Cena returning.
Yeah, the crowd went bonkers. Cena's back. He looked well. He was
back for this.
Back for this. He was in his ring gear and he was doing moves, which I didn't expect him to do. Since he's had a torn something. And he done his attitude adjustment.
Yep.
And I guess it was a fairly cool moment.
And he had Rock and Cena standing tall. Two guys that aren't going to be on the next edition of Raw.
Yeah, they're off home again.
The Wyatts, actually, were they even on Raw?
No.
I don't think they were either.
No, they weren't.
So, in this main event...
So they squashed the up-and-comers and ran off to the back celebrating their...
I'm alright with them scampering them off, but maybe tease something. Don't make Bray look so weak. Yeah, but I'm kind of actually getting over Bray anyway.
Yeah.
He just doesn't really... There's just something missing. He just has these feuds and matches are good, but then he loses it, and it's when he doesn't have a true focus, and he's snakes and eagles mating and making cars and the Afghanistan man.
Well,
and he just says stuff that means nothing.
Exactly. So many great promos, and you think, wow, something's coming of this. And nothing. So I don't listen to them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I find them more of a nuisance because it's gibberish. That really is just gibberish. It's just nothing. Nothing comes of it. The poor guy didn't get a match at WrestleMania for some weird reason. Like,
he's injured.
Is he actually injured?
Yeah, he's injured.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
But then still, like, from the TV audience, though, that just means that he's not in a match. Because you haven't, like, explained anything or given him a reason not to be. And the guy's not held a title in 2 years of being in the company.
Literally not one belt. So it's hard to take him seriously.
Yeah.
So we get that weird segment, but this ushers in to the main event. And I always look forward to
4.5 hours.
Oh, it's 4.5 hours at this point. So I think everyone's
exhausted.
You can sort of tell in the place as well. Everyone's putting on their coats because we kind of thought at 4.5 hour mark this match would be brief. So everyone's like, oh,
well, I'll be honest, I never thought it was going to be brief. It's a Triple H match at WrestleMania.
Well, I thought he's going to get a really long entrance because I do really enjoy his entrances and it'd be a quick match, but I was completely wrong. We do get a great entrance. We get like this depiction of us, the fans,
something bolted over our mouths.
Basically, they're not listening.
Wasteland.
Whatever we say goes unheard. So yeah.
And then Stephanie just in this abandon hope,
sexy and cool. Visually is amazing. I loved it. Triple H comes out, and then Roman Reigns comes out.
Yeah, could they have not given Roman Reigns something like? Even if they'd had like a load of, I don't know, Samoans doing the war dance behind him, or just something.
Like he's in squat gear. Have like a load of squat guys down the aisle.
Helicopter, come in a fucking helicopter land.
Oh, that needs to be done.
But no, it was just bam bam
bam bam. Same old shit. Same old shit. Yeah.
And he gets booed out the building.
I couldn't have cared a damn about this match.
In hindsight, this was a decent match. The guys went for it. They told a good story. But just the atmosphere, because everyone was A, exhausted, B, hates Roman Reigns, C, doesn't really like Triple H or the Authority especially. They don't like the Authority. Triple H, the guy that gives us NXT, we like. Authority, no.
I know there's Roman Reigns fans out there, just like
fans. There was one in the pub.
Yeah, and they're few and far between. But the majority of people are yelling at the company saying, no, don't do it. They were booing him throughout the whole match. We were cheering the heel. It's just so weird.
Well, I can see it to a certain extent because the guy has mainstream appeal. Because, no offense, I love Dean Ambrose, but you put the two guys side by side in the street. Reigns looks like a wrestler. Ambrose looks like a sort of homeless hobo that might stab you.
He's young Foley.
Yeah. And they've done these sort of market researches that people are like, oh, that guy looks fantastic, and he's always like scores the highest. But yeah, he's a good wrestler. He's an awful talker.
He just looks good.
Yeah.
If I had a company and I wanted someone out there being my salesman, obviously you want him to look the part and sound the part. For me, he just doesn't sound the part. And that's my issue.
But that's because they keep forcing stuff for him to say. Those brief times they let him just like be him, it works. And they keep him short and sweet. Like that brief period end of last year, they actually managed to get him cheered.
Yeah. I think they need to jump on this heel turn as soon as possible.
Yeah. But the biggest spot of the match, just before you get off that, is Stephanie taking a spear. I was so happy.
Oh, yeah.
That was good, lass. Getting speared. I really wish Daniel Bryan could have hit her with a running knee, because she deserved it so much more from Daniel Bryan.
She deserves an ass whooping.
But no, that was a good spot. That did wake up the crowd for the finish, but then it was like a standard.
Was there any memorable spots for you in the match between Reigns and Triple H for you? Like you think, wow, that was great.
Not really. It was all like your
for
standard
a main event of WrestleMania.
Standard wrestling affair.
Yeah.
But what spots can you remember from Brock Lesnar versus Reigns?
Well, exactly. It's a shame.
It's hard because when you're competing with all these crazy stipulation matches, and then you're just going on with a straight up wrestling match.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Which is where I kind of thought maybe that at the end there'd be a heel turn or a return. but we didn't really get anything, and it kind of fell flat.
Mm.
And when Roman Reigns got the win, it was like everyone kind of like,
Yeah, it was really deflating. I kind of glad they did it just so they finally just followed through. So we didn't have another, he got screwed again. Next WrestleMania, he'll get that chance.
Yeah.
So now I've got a year to figure out what the hell to do with him.
So by this point, we're at the 5-hour mark. Mm-hmm. So I think they cut his coronation short. But yeah, Roman Reigns ends WrestleMania as champion.
Yep.
So we leave because we were knackered.
We did.
But I enjoyed WrestleMania. Yeah. I really did. It was better than last year.
A one-off show. This was fantastic. It was entertaining. The end fell flat, but rest of it was just entertaining.
Yeah, it was what WrestleMania
You could bring your friend and go, hey, sit and watch this, and they'd be, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Memorable spots, and I enjoyed it. It was good. And I'm glad.
A sort of guy that's invested in wrestling for so many years, and like, where do we go from here? It's a bit... It didn't really... It just sort of cemented the fact that these part-timers and these guys are the best. The guys we have now are just awful. Because when people keep saying, like, we can't do a brand split because there's just not much depth in the roster, that's wrong.
Yeah.
The roster is... If you compared the Attitude Era roster to this roster on in-ring ability, today's roster is just heads and shoulders above them.
Mm.
But they just don't get the time to show the personality.
No.
That's where it all just falls apart. And then they constantly get this when legends come back and just squish them and push them down.
Yeah, all your takeaway moments from the event, from the legends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not right.
No. The only thing they've done well is now the women's division.
Oh, that was probably one of the best matches of the night for me. Solid. Amazing. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm glad we done it down in Brighton at the Walkabout, and I'm definitely be up for going there again.
You're about to say what culture?
Speaking of what culture, I hear Adam Blompier lost his belt, so that brought me onto an idea, dude. I think we should do this. Future predictions, right?
Yeah.
We get a belt, and whoever loses, obviously loses the belt, but also has to do a forfeit.
Okay, so what? We do this, for every pay-per-view?
Yep, every pay-per-view we do a predictions video, and then we do a results podcast, as we normally do. Whoever's got all their predictions wrong, obviously loses the belt, and they have to do a forfeit. And we can do a little video.
Cool.
Put it at the end of the podcast. Yep. So get thinking about different forfeits you want to do. But thank you for What Culture for that idea. I am borrowing that from you.
We say borrowing, blatantly stealing.
Stealing it.
Yeah.
I enjoy your videos though.
Yes, and you've probably never ever heard of us.
But thank you.
And you probably never will right now.
Oh. But yeah, so you enjoyed it.
I did. It was a good, fun show in general. When you get your booker's hat on, there's issues, but as long as you're entertained, that's the main point.
That's the main thing. But anything else you would like to discuss?
Let us know what was your highlight. What was the highlight of WrestleMania coming out of it? What were you feeling going in? Because I was a bit like, meh, it's selling the fact on it's WrestleMania. That's the main reason I'm excited. There was nothing that was like, I can't wait for this.
Yep. You can tweet us at WWLeeTV or Black White Soul EOD.
Yep.
Hit us up.
That is also my Instagram name. I have my YouTube channel of Black White Soul, which I'm gonna stop. I keep saying this every time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ramp up my videos because I want to do quality over just like shoving stuff out there. So I'm just really trying to do that. I might even try and buy some different editing software because it gets a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's why my videos are so few and far between. It's just I want it.
You're lazy.
That's just worst kind of person. I was just gonna say it's not because I'm being lazy. It's because I want to put out videos that set me apart from others, not because I'm being lazy. Hate you.
Yeah, well, that belt's gonna be mine.
Oh yeah, bring it. We need to buy a belt or make one.
Yeah.
Whatever you'd rather do, but we can't nick all ideas from What Culture.
Maybe if we did a cardboard belt and drew a picture on it.
Oh man.
And maybe I think of starting my own faction called RX.
Oh dear. Well, this has been fun. It's been a hoot. And thank you to all you subscribers out there. It's much appreciated. It's slowly creeping up.
I don't know why we're looking at the laptop instead of like the mic now, but you know, here we are.
Hello.
I hope that doesn't affect audio. We're good.
Oh, we're fine. It's a good little mic, this. But yeah, as Ricky said, let us know your thoughts and opinions. Yeah, what you thought of WrestleMania and anything you'd like us to do or talk about. Let us know in the comments. But it's goodbye and ciao for now from me.
And TTFN.